You wake up before sunrise. The air is cold enough to sting your lungs. Every sound matters. A crack in the bushes could mean breakfast, or it could mean death. There is no village waiting nearby. No walls, no pharmacy, no grocery store, no emergency number to call. Just your body, your mind, and thousands of generations of survival knowledge carried inside your memory. Yet here's the strange part. Your ancestors were astonishingly good at staying alive. For almost all of human history, survival depended on tricks that would seem bizarre today. Many of them look primitive at first glance. Some sound almost unbelievable. Others appear completely irrational, until archaeology, anthropology, and biology reveal why they worked so well. Modern life rewards efficiency. Ancient life rewarded adaptability. And surprisingly, many of the habits that kept your ancestors alive are still hidden inside your brain today. Would you even recognize them if you saw them? One of the strangest survival tricks began with walking, not walking quickly, not walking efficiently, walking slowly enough to notice everything. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherers such as the Juhwansi of southern Africa, documented by Richard Lee, noticed something unusual. Hunting trips were rarely direct. People constantly stopped, looked around, listened, smelled the air, touched plants, and examined tiny marks on the ground. At first, this seems incredibly inefficient, but the real weapon was information. Every footprint was a message. Every broken twig was a sentence. Every bird call was a warning. Your ancestors lived inside an environment that constantly spoke to them. The landscape became a living map filled with clues invisible to an untrained eye. Now think about modern life. How often do your eyes scan a glowing screen instead of the horizon? Your brain evolved to detect patterns in nature. Yet today, it spends hours recognizing icons, notifications, and advertisements. Could that explain why natural environments often feel strangely calming? Another bizarre survival trick involved getting lost. That sounds ridiculous. Surely getting lost meant disaster. Not necessarily. Research among Australian Aboriginal groups and other traditional societies shows that people developed enormous mental maps through storytelling. Instead of memorizing roads, they memorized songs. These song lines encoded rivers, mountains, water holes, dangerous animals, seasonal food, and safe routes. Each verse represented a piece of geography. Each melody became a map. Instead of carrying paper, your ancestors carried landscapes inside their minds. Neuroscientists know that music dramatically improves memory. Your prehistoric relatives discovered this tens of thousands of years before laboratories existed. Here's the thing. Sometimes the weirdest technology leaves no physical trace. Another strange habit looked almost lazy, sleeping whenever possible. Modern society treats sleep as something to squeeze between responsibilities. Your ancestors treated sleep as survival equipment. Studies of the Hadza people of Tanzania, researched by James Sussman and other anthropologists, suggest that hunter-gatherers often rested during the hottest hours, adjusted their schedules with daylight, and avoided rigid sleeping patterns. There was no alarm clock, no shift schedule, no Monday morning. Instead, sleep followed changing environmental conditions. Ironically, sleep deprivation today weakens attention, immunity, and decision-making. The exact abilities ancient humans depended on every single day. Could your body still be expecting a more flexible rhythm? Perhaps one of the strangest tricks involved fire. not making it, keeping it alive. Creating fire from scratch was difficult long before matches or lighters existed. Many groups carefully transported glowing embers from one campsite to another, inside bark, fungi, or slow-burning bundles of plant material. Imagine carrying tomorrow's warmth in your hands. Fire was light. Fire was cooked food. Fire was protection. Lose it, and survival became much harder. Archaeological evidence from sites like Wonderwork Cave suggests controlled fire stretches back hundreds of thousands of years. But the real innovation wasn't simply discovering fire. It was refusing to let it die. That tiny, glowing ember represented insurance against uncertainty. Modern people back up computer files. Ancient people backed up fire. Another survival trick sounds completely backward: sharing valuable food. Suppose you finally caught a large animal after days of tracking. Wouldn't you keep it for yourself? Your ancestors often did the opposite. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner documented extensive food-sharing networks among hunter-gatherer communities. Large animals spoiled quickly. No refrigerator existed. Sharing meat created future obligations. Today you feed someone, tomorrow they feed you. The reward wasn't immediate. It was social security. Generosity became survival. This explains something fascinating about your brain. Helping others activates reward systems that release chemicals associated with pleasure and trust. Perhaps generosity feels good because it once kept entire families alive. Now, fair question. If sharing was so important, why did conflict still exist? Because another strange trick balanced cooperation with competition. Humor. Yes, humor. Many hunter-gatherer societies used teasing to prevent individuals from becoming too arrogant or dominant. Instead of celebrating the best hunter endlessly, successful hunters were often jokingly criticized. The goal wasn't cruelty, it was equality. Anthropologists describe this as leveling behavior, reducing social tension before it became dangerous. A joke today? A civil war avoided tomorrow. Would modern workplaces function differently if status mattered less? Another odd habit involved eating things that most people would never consider food. Tree bark, bitter roots, insects, bone marrow, fermented plants, rotting meat under specific conditions. These foods sound desperate. Sometimes they were, but many contained nutrients unavailable elsewhere. Bone marrow, for example, is rich in fat and calories essential for large brains. Certain insects provide remarkable amounts of protein. Fermentation reduces toxins while increasing digestibility. Your ancestors weren't picky, they were flexible, and flexibility repeatedly defeated specialization during environmental change. The archaeological discoveries at Blombos Cave in South Africa reveal that ancient humans experimented constantly with pigments, tools, and materials. Innovation wasn't a rare event. It became a lifestyle. Here's another surprising trick. Children played constantly, not because adults wanted entertainment, because play was education. Throwing sticks, pretending to hunt, climbing trees, building miniature shelters. Every game secretly rehearsed survival. Modern psychology confirms that play develops coordination, creativity, cooperation, and problem solving. Children weren't wasting time. They were preparing for adulthood. What games prepare people for modern life today? Another strange survival strategy involved fear. Your ancestors were not fearless. Quite the opposite. Being slightly paranoid often increased survival. A strange noise? Investigate carefully. Fresh tracks? Stay alert. Unknown berries? Wait before eating. Natural selection rarely rewarded unnecessary bravery. It rewarded cautious curiosity. Notice the balance, not panic, not recklessness. Observation. Modern anxiety sometimes feels irrational because the dangers changed faster than the brain itself. Your nervous system still scans for predators. It simply finds deadlines instead. Another remarkable trick involved silence. Before coordinated hunting, many groups communicated with hand signals instead of speech. One raised finger, one glance, one nod. Every unnecessary sound risked frightening prey or attracting predators. Even today, experienced hunters often communicate with remarkably few words. Silence carried information. Could constant background noise be exhausting? Because your brain evolved to treat unusual sounds as important? Perhaps the strangest trick of all involved friendship. Not friendship as entertainment, friendship as infrastructure. Studies among hunter-gatherers show that people often maintained relationships across distant groups. These connections became life-saving during droughts, disease outbreaks, or food shortages. If one region failed, another group might help. Social networks existed long before social media. Only they actually increased survival. Researchers continue discovering how interconnected prehistoric communities really were. Trade, marriage, shared knowledge, shared tools, shared genes. Isolation rarely won. Connection did. Finally, consider one last survival trick: knowing when not to fight. Popular culture imagines prehistoric life as endless violence. Archaeology paints a more complicated picture. Certainly, conflict happened, but serious injury carried enormous costs. A broken leg, an infected cut, a damaged hand. Each injury threatened survival long before hospitals existed. Avoiding unnecessary conflict became one of the smartest strategies available. Sometimes walking away required more intelligence than winning. That lesson may be even more relevant today. When viewed together, these strange survival tricks reveal something unexpected. Your ancestors didn't survive because they were stronger, not because they were faster, not because they were luckier. They survived because they adapted. They noticed tiny details others ignored. They remembered landscapes through songs. They protected fire like treasure. They shared before they hoarded. They laughed before resentment grew. They rested when their bodies demanded it. They taught children through play. They feared wisely instead of blindly. They built friendships that stretched beyond immediate family. Every strange habit solved a real problem, and every solution shaped the human brain you still carry. The world around you has changed dramatically. Skyscrapers replaced forests. Notifications replaced birdsong. Calendars replaced seasons. But your nervous system still belongs to a creature designed for movement, curiosity, cooperation, and adaptability. The next time you feel strangely relaxed while walking through a forest, instinctively help a stranger or become captivated by the glow of a campfire. Remember that these reactions are not accidents. They are echoes, tiny fragments of ancient survival strategies that refused to disappear. You no longer wake before sunrise, wondering whether a predator waits outside your shelter. Instead, many people wake to alarms they didn't choose, schedules they didn't design, and pressures that never truly end. No silence, no wandering, no freedom. Civilization solved countless dangers, but it also created new ones: chronic stress, endless comparison, and lives measured by productivity instead of survival. Perhaps the weirdest truth of all is that your ancestors despite having almost nothing, often lived in closer alignment with the body and brain evolution gave them than many people do today. The ancient world was harsher, but in some ways, it demanded that humans live exactly as humans were meant to live. Now, generate timestamps using tools such as ALENN Labs, Descript, Otter, Adobe Premiere, or YouTube Studio. Then paste the complete time-stamped transcript here. Once you do, I'll generate a matching image prompt for every timestamp in batches of 20, maintaining consistent whiteboard doodle animation style throughout the entire video.